In haar nuwe boek Dreams, Betrayal and Hope skryf sy oor hoe swak onderwys, kulturele eensaidigheid en burgerlike laksheid bygedra het tot Suid-Afrika se politieke krisis. Maar Dr. Mamphela Ramphele skryf ook oor die mislukte huwelik tussen SA en die DA in 2014. Dr. Ramphele, welcome and congratulations with your book, which hit the shelves just yesterday. You write at length about the education crisis in this country, which consumes you and so many of our viewers tonight. What role did the trade union SADTU play in bringing education to its knees in South Africa?
I think it would be a mistake to only focus on SADTU. SADTU is in partnership with the ANC as the governing party. So at the end of the day, the responsibility is with the ANC as the governing party and with us as the citizens of this country who should hold the ANC to account for a very critical area of development. Without education, there is no way you're going to be able to have a socially just and prosperous South Africa.
But you're right that SADTU holds the ANC in a sense hostage because the ANC can't be too robust in their dealings with hundreds and thousands of members of this trade union. They fear losing support at the ballot box.
Absolutely. The SADTU is doing what trade unions do, which is to use the power of their numbers. The ANC has a moral and ethical responsibility as the government of the day to make sure that it balances the interests of its alliance partner in SADTU with the long-term interests of ordinary South Africans, particularly the children.
Has the ANC dealt correctly, though, you speak about the children, with issues of culture and language in education? You suggest that they could have done a better job.
Absolutely. All of us as South Africans could have done a better job, but they are the governing party, so they must take the first responsibility.
Including for issues like mother tongue education.
Absolutely. We have to accept as South Africans that the biggest problem that we are facing today is that all of us checked out after the political settlement was signed into law in the form of our constitution in 1996. We all checked out. Business went back to business. We went off shopping and sleeping or whatever we were doing in our personal interest. We did not follow through with what that very constitution said. We the people, that's in the preamble, we the people of South Africa adopt this constitution so as to, number one, heal the divisions of the past and to deal with the issue of values, which would have taken care of sensitivity to issues of language, of culture, and the humiliation that the majority population in this country suffered under the old system. We didn't take care of that.
No, there was a time when you thought you could play this role as a politician, as the founder and leader of Agang SA. Now today in Pretoria, Andries Tlwama was representing Agang on the stage there with the other opposition leaders. You describe him in your book as a disruptive force in the party. Do you regret today, when you look at these pictures of 100,000 people, that you were not standing on that stage?
Not at all. I believe that Agang was an important experiment in a different type of politics. It was too far ahead of its time. Last year, when the EFF and the DA went into coalition, nobody better than I looked. But we, in 2014, were too far ahead of our time. And so I am very proud of the fact that we opened the Pandora's box by proposing, even though we didn't succeed, that coalition politics are the only way into the future.
So in a sense, Doctor, you answer some of the accusations leveled against you in Helen Zille's recent autobiography in your book. I mean, your book stands on its own legs, but you do enter into conversation with her. Things became quite nasty between the two of you after you considered working together. She suggests in her book that you believed at some point Agang could gain 60% of the vote in the 2014 election, and therefore Agang should kind of absorb the DA, merge between the two. Is that really something that you believed at the time?
Helen Zille said many things publicly which display her ignorance. The fact of her talking about South Africa would not have water, would not have transport, we would not have cars without colonialism tells you what kind of person we are dealing with.
Okay, but was that true?
Sorry, you've got to look at everything somebody said in a context. Singapore was far more developed before it was colonized by the Brits. And so Helen Zille has got her way, her truth, and she's entitled to it. But the fact of the matter is that there is nobody with any normal logical thinking who could have thought that a new political party like Agang would get 60%. It's in her imagination, but that's Helen Zille. And I think that South Africa has got many more sensible leaders who are now in charge. And today we have seen a display of what we can do if we work together.
Okay, please also lay to rest one other thing that she mentioned in her book, and this is that she says basically that you went into this Agang SA DA marriage for the money because there was a big funder of the DA, a mysterious person who she does not name in her book, who she suggests was offering to settle some debt for you. Did you read that in her book? Do you know about this allegation, and how do you respond to that?
I haven't read Helen Zille's book because I don't think it is worth my time. The fact of the matter is that if I really went into politics for the money, it would have been a very foolish thing to do because I've used my own personal savings to fund Agang. I don't know what she's talking about. And I think South Africa should take that period as a great lesson period, and let's focus on what we need to be doing. The commitments we made as South Africans, as citizens, whether you are black or white, whether you're male or female, we have a beautiful country that we need to build together. But we cannot build this country with only a political settlement. We need to deal with the kind of stereotypical views of the Helen Zilles of this day, which is not unique to Helen Zille, incidentally. There is too much of this stereotyping of black people by white people in this country. And that can only be dealt with through us sitting down and talking to one another as respected and respectable people.
Very true, but we also need an IEC, Electoral Commission with integrity, in order to protect the democracy. And you attack the IEC in this book. You say some votes for Agang in 2014 were not even counted. Do you think the IEC can be trusted to take us into a free and fair election in 2019? Very briefly.
Only if we, the citizens of South Africa, stand up and stop tolerating corruption in public service. And if we do that, then we will be able to get free and fair elections. But right now, we need vigilance. But I think that vigilance will also come from us as South Africans, whatever party we belong to, having our primary identity as that of South Africans.
Doctor, thank you very, very much. Dit is aan al vir vanaand. Sien julle weer volgende Woensdag aand. Goeienaand.